Season 2 of Wednesday is quickly approaching, so I thought it would be fun to go back and watch Season 1 and talk about all of the knit and crochet things that were featured in that season. There was quite a few of them, and a few of them even went viral on social media, and a lot of people recreated them, myself included. So I thought it would be kind of fun to see what else was there and maybe get some inspo for this upcoming spooky season. I'm going to break this video up into the different characters because it just feels easier that way. Some of the things are not episode specific because they ended up re-wearing some of the things, which I thought was a good touch because kids at an academy would rewear their clothes. They would only have a certain amount of their wardrobe, and it just made the show feel more realistic. So let's go through and talk about all of the knit and crochet things, how they styled them, and I'll talk construction about some of them to hopefully help you if you want to make any of these. I'm going to link a Pinterest board in the description down below with all of these saved to it. And I will try to find some patterns or some similar patterns to also link for you guys. Let's get started. Now there are quite a few, especially for Wednesday and Enid, so I figured we would just go through each character and then I'll do a more general broad category at the end of all of the characters that maybe only have one or two pieces featured. So let's start with the star of the show, Wednesday. I can't start with Wednesday without mentioning the couple of things that she wore that went viral, so I think that's as good of a place as ever to start. While Wednesday's wardrobe mostly features black clothing, I think they did a really good job of adding some dimension to her wardrobe. She had a lot of cool outfits and a lot of cool pieces. One recurring theme throughout the entire season was the black and white checker print that she wore. Here's a few examples, and two of these were actually knit and crochet, and ended up going pretty viral on the internet, and a lot of people recreated them, myself included. I'm actually wearing the checkered sweater that I made right now, which if you follow me on Instagram or on here, you might have seen that I started this in December of 2022 when season 1 came out, and I just finished it right before season 2 came out. So definitely was a labor of love, but I really love how it turned out, and I think it's a super cute sweater vest. The other one, which is on my list to hopefully make one day, is this crochet checker vest that she wears. This one has the smaller squares of black and white, and it alternates between the little checkered pattern, and then there's just some rows of straight black. This one is a longer vest as well, kind of oversized, but I really love this one. I know a lot of people have remade this one, and many people have actually made patterns for this, so if you are on the lookout for that, I'm sure you could find it very easily. I will try to link some of them below if I can find any, and maybe I will write my own pattern for this one day. I don't know. We'll see. That's the crochet one. There's also the knit one, which I remade, and this one actually was from Zara originally. It's sort of oversized. It's almost like a t-shirt vest kind of style. The sleeves go a bit longer. It's the v-neck, and what I really liked about this sweater was the alternating colors with the ribbing. I think it is a super cute detail and really ties together the whole checkerboard pattern of the sweater. I believe there's probably patterns out there for this one too. I know a lot of people wanted a pattern after I posted mine, but seeing as I started it almost 3 years ago, I was really at the beginning of my knitting and crochet journey, and I didn't really write anything down. I'll link the pattern that I closely followed. It was a sweater vest pattern here on YouTube. I modified a few things just to make it more how I wanted it. So like I made it a little bit more oversized, and I definitely changed the rows for the ribbing. I might have changed some of the numbers along too, just to better fit the checker pattern. But I think that's a good place to start if you are wanting to make this and are willing to kind of make a few changes to a pattern. I'm sure there are patterns for this exact vest out there too, so maybe try looking for those. I'm sure they exist. I love how they paired her sweater vests in the show. I love that with the knit one, they put the black turtleneck underneath of it, and with the crochet one, they put the white button-down collared shirt under it. They both still give that school vibe since Wednesday is at Nevermore Academy, but it's also leaning more into Wednesday's fashion sense with the dark colors and the fact that her character almost has a black and white filter over her. Those are not the only things that Wednesday wears in this show though, even though those were the most popular. There are quite a few more, so let's go through some of those. Seeing as this show is taking place at Nevermore Academy, where it is basically like a boarding school, most of the characters do have school uniforms. Wednesday's school uniform is a little bit different since she only wears black, so hers is in dark gray and black tones. But a part of these uniforms are the sweater vests that are under the blazers that they wear. Wednesday wears a few different ones throughout the season. I'll put them all here. They're mostly the dark gray color. They are ribbed vests and they have some black and white stripes at the bottom. That would be a fun one to make as well. You could really make this in any color. Throughout the show there was navy blue, there was purple. Now, one of my favorite things that Wednesday wore was actually in the last episode when she is leaving Nevermore and going home. She wears this shirt that looks crocheted. It kind of looks like filet crochet, which I know was kind of trending a little while ago. And it has this white shirt underneath with a crocheted collar and cuffs. I think this one's really cool. I would love to try to make this one day. I think you would just start with a button-down white shirt to start and then probably have to cut off the cuffs and the collar and then crochet into that fabric. I think this would be a really fun one, and I really love this extra detail. With the black crochet vest over top, it adds an extra handmade element, which I really like. I do think I saw Yarnspirations, it might be Yarnspirations, release a free pattern for the collar and the cuffs. So I will link that below if I can find it, but I think that's a really cool one. I'm going to use this next one to kind of bridge the gap between Wednesday and Enid. So if you watched the show, or even if you didn't watch this show, you probably saw the snoods that went very viral. In the show, Enid's character crochets these as a birthday present for Wednesday. Obviously the black one is for Wednesday and the pink one is for Enid. This one is very high on my list of things to make. I think I might make it soon. Who knows? It might end up getting pushed till way later, but I think this is a really fun one. I think this is another one where there are a lot of patterns already out there. But I also think this would be a really easy one to figure out. It's basically an infinity scarf that's a little bit wider so it can be pulled over your head to kind of look like a hood. And it has these fun little pom-poms on it. So I know I saw a lot of people remake these, and I think it's also not too hard. I think you just use a chunkier yarn. Obviously with Enid's you could just use any pink yarn you already have. You could double up your yarns. I think it would even be fun to make this one your own and use some scrap yarn that you have laying around already. But these are really cute, and I actually think these are probably pretty functional if you live in a cold place. I live in Arizona, so I don't know if I would ever really need this, but these are really cute, and I hopefully will be making one of these soon. Alright, let's talk about Enid. Enid and Wednesday are kind of supposed to be polar opposites of each other. She is bubbly, she is bright, she has lots of friends, she wears tons of bright colors, and it's what makes their friendship so perfect. They are the missing piece of each other in each other's lives. Enid actually has quite an extensive knit and crochet closet, which was fun to kind of watch throughout the season. She wears mostly pink and bright colors and yellow and blue and any bright color. So I already talked about the pink snood that she wears, but in the very first episode when Wednesday is meeting Enid, she is wearing this fully handmade outfit. So the top is a knit striped sweater. It has light pink, dark pink, orange, and yellow stripes within it. It instantly kind of shows you that her character is very opposite from Wednesday. What I love about this outfit is the skirt that she is wearing. This is a floral crocheted skirt that I think was also from Zara. It is basically made up of all of these different crochet floral motifs that are sewn together to make a skirt. This is another one that I think would be really fun to make. I'm sure there are variations out there of patterns for something like this, but I also think if you had enough pictures of the one from Zara, you could probably figure it out. This is another one that I think you could make your own and kind of just make a bunch of different floral motifs and see how they fit together. You could play around with the different colors, but this one's super cute, and I think it instantly shows you who Enid's character is and the contrast between her and Wednesday. Enid wears a lot of sweaters, a lot of bright colored sweaters and a lot of patterned sweaters. Here's a few examples. I'll go through them all, but we already talked about the striped sweater. She wears this other colorful kind of ombre sweater that has some yellows, purples, blues, maybe some oranges and pinks in there, with some heart motifs on it. It looks like a mohair, more like fuzzy sweater. So that's another one. I really like this pink cable knit sweater that she wears a couple times throughout the season. So this one was featured a few times throughout the season. I really like this. I think this is a super cute cable knit sweater. It's my goal this fall/winter to finally learn how to knit cables and to make a cable knit sweater. So this is a big inspiration for me, and I will probably look for something very similar to this while I'm looking for a pattern because I really love how this one fits her. I think it's like the perfect oversized sweater, and it has the like folded over turtleneck, and it's just super cute. Here's another sweater that Enid wears at one point. This one is more like lavender, yellow, and white, and it has these like abstract kind of color blocking Antarja kind of thing. So that's another cute one. I'm not quite sure how you do the color blocking on that one. You'd probably use the Antarja technique, but that's another one that you could potentially make your own, and it doesn't have to necessarily be exact to what hers looks like, but that's another cute one. Enid is bringing back the leg warmers. She wears these, they might be knit leg warmers in one episode. They're like various shades of pink and kind of striped. It almost looks like it was probably a pre-dyed yarn that had the sectioning, like the striped sections already dyed that way. It's like ribbed, so it's probably knit, but I know you can also do faux ribbing with crochet. So you could probably easily crochet these if you don't know how to knit. And last but not least, for Enid, there are several sweater vests she wears. So like with Wednesday, she wears the ones for her school uniform. She usually wears a navy blue or a purple one, but there's also an episode where she is wearing a hot pink sweater vest with a pink beret and everything. So those are super cute. So I think that is it for Enid. Next, we will just move on to everyone else at Nevermore Academy and characters that kind of just had a one-off knit or crochet piece. I feel like I have to start with Pugsley, Wednesday's brother. He didn't have much screen time in season 1, but he's about to have a lot more in season 2. And in what we did see of him in season 1, he was wearing this white and kind of dark gray, almost black, striped sweater. They're not perfect stripes. Some of them aren't even a full row long. This would be a really cute one to make, and you wouldn't even really need to follow an exact pattern. You could just kind of stop whenever you want to stop with whatever color you're using and switch your yarn whenever you want to switch it. One of the characters on the show, Ajax, is a Gorgon, so he has snakes on his head and can turn people to stone if he looks at them. So he's kind of always wearing beanies, and a lot of them are knit beanies in various different colors. One of the Nightshade members, which is the secret society at Nevermore, is wearing this crocheted shirt in one scene. It has these different little like kind of circle motifs that are all connected to each other. And then, as I already mentioned, all of the students kind of wear a sweater vest under their uniform. These kind of vary between navy blue, purple, black, and I think that's it for season 1. Now, part 1 of season 2 has already come out, and there have already been a few knit or crochet pieces in part 1, so I'm going to quickly go through those as a little bonus. I'm sure I missed some from season 1. If there's any really big ones that I missed, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. If you're going to make any of these things, let me know. If you need a pattern, anything, leave it in the comments, and I will try to get back to you with whatever information I have or can find. So part 1 of season 2 of Wednesday has been out for about a month, and part 2 is about to come out. I only watched part 1 through one time, so I very well could have missed something. If I did, definitely let me know. But there was 3 knit and crochet things that stood out to me. One was this sweater that Wednesday wears. It's kind of like a heathered dark gray sweater. This one could either be crocheted or it might be knit with like really big needles, but it looks like they used mohair yarn and it kind of has that like really loose tension kind of look. That one's really cute. Second was this sweater that Enid wears on the balcony in one scene. This one almost has like a speckled yarn that was used, and it's kind of the same as the Wednesday one where it looks like they either used a really big hook or needles and looser tension, so it kind of has that like see-through-y, big holey kind of look. Third is the assistant to Dr. Fairburn, who wears this really over-the-top knit sweater, and it has a bunch of different like, it's almost like a patchwork design where each one kind of has a different scene on it. Some of them have sheep, some of them have what look like a little doll sitting down, but this one's pretty cool and would be a pretty cool replica if someone made one. But I think that's it for part 1 of season 2. Definitely let me know if I missed any, and hopefully there are more in part 2 of season 2. I always love seeing knit and crochet things in TV shows and movies. I am definitely that obnoxious person who has to point it out to whoever I am watching with. I think it's fun to kind of try to figure out why the costume designers picked what they picked for that character. I think it definitely helps aid in the like cozy kind of creepy fall vibes that they have going in Wednesday, and I'm always down for a good replica of things from movies and TV shows. So they definitely got a few added to my list. I hope this helped inspire you to figure out what you're making this fall/spooky season, and let me know if you want more videos like this for other TV shows and movies. I think it was super fun to kind of do a deep dive and find all of the different knit and crochet pieces from this show, because anyone that also crochets and knits knows that while you're crocheting and knitting, a lot of what you do is watch TV shows and movies. So definitely a big fan of a lot of TV shows and movies, and I'm always down to talk about anything pop culture related. I'm going to leave a Pinterest board in the description down below that will have all of these kind of saved, and if I can find some replica patterns or some similar patterns, I will try to link those as well. And let me know what you're making this spooky season, because I'm kind of out of ideas this year and need some inspiration from you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe this video if you would like more. All of my socials are in the description down below as well, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.